Well, thank you. It's a beautiful Saturday here in Moab, Utah, and today we're headed out for a little bit of a different adventure. It's supposed to be almost 90 degrees today, and that is a little too warm to go out hiking with our golden retriever specifically. So we are headed out to the Abajo Mountains. It's about an hour south from here toward a town called Monticello in Utah. And we always see them in the distance, and usually when you're in Moab, you see the Sal Mountains. Those are a little bit closer by. So we've gone and spent time there, but we've never checked out the Abajo Mountains. So we scoped out an off-road trail and we're gonna head down there and go check it out. But first things first, we have to go stop and get our fun weekend drinks.
Got the goods. Got the fun weekend drinks and a lot of grapefruits.
A lot of grapefruit. This is the best kombucha ever. And what'd you get? Your favorite drink of all time?
Oh yeah.
See any dog treats in now?
Good boy. That's it.
So we realized we have one more pit stop to make before we go out on our adventure. So right now we have our Airstream stored in a storage unit, a storage facility in Moab, because we can't park it at the Airbnb. We actually got a citation on it because we had it parked at the Airbnb. We thought we were allowed. Thankfully, it was very nice and it was just a warning. We didn't have to pay anything. But we moved it to this storage facility, and we've been having some electrical issues. We got new batteries and had some other things done, like putting a DC to DC charger on the trailer so that way we can get more power from the truck to charge the trailer batteries. And some of the wiring was done a little wrong, we found out. So we've been having some issues with the battery staying charged and just some other electrical problems that are pretty boring. But we've been troubleshooting. We've had another RV repair guy hopefully fix things. But when we pass the trailer, we typically have been stopping just to check on the batteries and make sure that they're staying charged. So we will see what the verdict is here in a second. Do you remember what they were charged before we left the other day? They were at like 12% or something last time we were here.
Yeah, now it's like at 13 or something now, so the little bit of charging that we did.
Oh, well that's good.
Yeah.
So they seem to be holding a charge?
Mm-hmm.
So you might be thinking, why are your batteries so low? And that's because we had them completely 100% charged and left the Airstream here for a couple of weeks, and then when we came to check on it, they were at 0. My parents were actually visiting us in town. They came to Moab. We came to show them the Airstream, and the batteries were completely dead. We couldn't turn a single light on. So we still haven't figured out, did we maybe leave something very small on? We had the battery disconnect on, so nothing should have been pulling from the trailer that would have made us completely drain the batteries in that short amount of time. So we really don't know, but we've just been trying to keep an eye on it, figure things out, and it seems like things are okay for now. Ready to go on an adventure? Are you ready to go to the mountains? Hey, it's about time, huh? How many freaking stops do we need to make? So we just made it to the trailhead after driving through the tiny little cute town of Monticello, Utah, and it is a totally different world here. There are big pine trees and mountain peaks and some snow in the distance. We're driving through this incredible Aspen Grove, and they're just starting to bud, so I can't imagine how beautiful this would be in just a couple of weeks, and especially in the fall when they're all yellow. Aspens are some of my very favorite trees, so it's really cool to see them. We haven't seen them in so long, and there are some pretty big ones. They are really tall, and there's a lot of them. It is really beautiful back here. Well, we might be coming up to a little bit of an obstacle. We have the Max Tracks with us?
We do, but I think that
It's a little too much snow.
it might be. Yeah, up there is going to be way too much.
Oh yeah, there's so much up there.
Yeah. Darn it.
Well, we asked for cooler temperatures than Moab, and I'd say we definitely got that.
And about 3 feet of snow.
We saw a trail report on Onyx, the mapping software we're using, but it was from February that said there was some deep snow, so we figured by now, it's been months since then, most of the snow probably has been melted, and we did make it a good way. We're actually almost at the top, so a little bit of a bummer. We'll have to see how far it is to the top. Maybe we can walk there, but I think we might still be a little too far away. So I looked at my map. We did make it probably at least 75% of the way to the top of the trail. And I might have actually forgotten to mention the name of this trail. It's called the Abajo Peak Trail. And it takes you to the top of Abajo Peak, as the name states. Normally, we actually might just pull over and hike to the top of the mountain. However, our Chocolate Lab Jackson, we think he might have pulled a muscle a couple of weeks ago. He's been in and out of the vet getting it looked at. He's been showing a little bit of pain, so we've just kind of been sticking to like real easy walks around the neighborhood. That's one of the reasons we wanted to come off and do an off-road trail today, so he could still get out of the house, get outside. But we pulled over and still have these incredible views of the Abajo Mountains. It's absolutely stunning out here. Like I said, a totally different landscape than Moab. It's chilly.
I know it is. I'm freaking cold.
Yeah, well maybe you should have worn a different outfit.
Sun's out, bun's out.
It's probably 90 degrees back in Moab.
I know, and it's 60 here with the wind.
Yeah, it's chilly. I don't think we'll stay here very long. We've just been hanging out, had some snacks, letting the dogs stretch their legs. Poor Jackson wants to run so bad. There's 2 tennis balls in the car, and he knows they're in the front. And he's currently standing by the front of the car, staring at the door where he knows where they are, begging us to grab them. You can't have them, buddy. Like I said, we've been doing neighborhood walks with Jackson, taking it easy for probably almost 2 weeks now. Took him back to the vet this morning actually to get looked at. She thinks it's just a pulled muscle. If you've watched our other videos, you've probably seen how Jackson runs on the trails ahead of us and then comes back and then goes ahead. He always does probably double the distance that we do. So I know it's just crushing him not to be able to run, but we really want him to feel better. Summer's coming and we want to get out on the trails, so gotta rest, and thankfully he can still get out and do these sorts of things with us. But I know he's just very sad right now. I know, buddy. Poor guy. And then there's Doug, who's just happy to hang out and get cuddles and pets. Doug absolutely loves going to the vet. It's one of his very favorite places to go. Jackson gets very nervous at the vet, so this morning when we went, we actually took Doug with us, and it seemed to really calm Jackson's nerves having Doug there. He just, laid on the ground, swooshed his tail when he would get pets from the people working there, and Jackson seemed to be calmer because of that. But yeah, it's funny, they spend all of their time together, but they are very different in many ways. So all down here is a field of aspens. This has to be so beautiful in the fall time. I don't know if we'll be back here around that time. Oh, hi Douglas. Interrupting your scheduled programming. Oh, hello. Okay, goodbye. But we might need to make a trip back here because this would be so beautiful. Not that it already isn't. It's really stunning now, but when there's even more color, I bet it's just absolutely gorgeous. So we've decided we're done being chilly for the day and we're gonna head on back to Moab. So it's currently 61 degrees, so we'll have to do a temperature check when we get back to Moab and see what the difference is. So we're almost back to our Airbnb, but surprise, surprise, we're back at the Airstream. On our way out there, Paul was doing some research looking at the manual for the DC to DC charger we installed, and there might be a way to reset it or do something. Honestly, I don't totally understand, but he wanted to do some more troubleshooting since we were passing right by here. It's actually only 79 degrees down here, but it's also drizzling a little bit, so I'm not surprised it's not as warm as we expected. Anyway, we're gonna wrap up here, head home, make some dinner, have a relaxing night. Tomorrow's Sunday, so we'll be heading out for another adventure, so we'll see you then. So it's now Sunday, and today we're headed out to the other mountain range near Moab, Utah that I mentioned yesterday. We're headed to the Lehi Mountains, and Paul picked out a trail. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but again, it's supposed to be really warm in Moab today, so we definitely want to head to the mountains, especially for this little guy. I know he appreciates being in the cooler temperatures. But first things first, we had to make one mandatory stop before heading out for another adventure. What'd you get?
Blood Orange and Tangerine Dream.
Ooh, is this one new?
That's the one that I got at Village Market the other time.
Oh, yum. Got our weekend fun drinks.
Day 2.
Jackson, are you excited? Are you excited, buddy? Or are we gonna go for a walk? So we just parked. Technically this trailhead is the beginning of a dirt road that is still closed. I'm guessing it's still just out of season, too early in the season to open this dirt road. This trail is following along Mill Creek, which goes all the way down into Moab, throughout Moab. It flows kind of right near our neighborhood. I guess the Lehi Mountains, it snows, all the snow melts, and it starts up here in this canyon and then flows all the way down to town. So it's pretty cool to see the other end of it. We've done plenty of hikes through Mill Creek Canyon around Moab, but not up in the Lehi Mountains. So we've actually noticed the past day or so when walking by Mill Creek that the water has been flowing very fast. I bet it's because there has been so much snow melt in this area over the past week because of the really warm temperatures. We can tell, being up in this area now, how fast the water is truly flowing, making its way all the way down to town. Compared to the last time we were up in the Lehi Mountains, which was maybe 3 weeks ago or so, there is significantly less snow in the mountains. We're planning on keeping Jackson on his leash today. We took him out last evening for a pretty long walk around some neighborhoods. We probably walked for at least an hour, and he was really comfortable, totally fine, didn't have any pain. And that's what the vet recommended us to do, just keep him on his leash, try to avoid lots of jumping. So we wanted to make sure he could still get out today because we can tell he's been a little bit antsy. He's gonna have to stay on his leash just because otherwise he'll be running around like a crazy man. Over the past couple of years, we've come out to check out the Lehi Mountains a few times, and every time we've been here, there still has been a good amount of snow. Not many trails were very accessible, and typically on those trails, we were probably at a little bit lower elevation. The pine trees were smaller, but on this road, there are huge aspen trees, huge pine trees. They're so tall, and it's just incredible that coming from Moab, within an hour's drive, even less, you can truly feel like you're really in the mountains. You're in a totally different landscape. And it's so nice for those hotter days when you want to escape the desert heat, but still be outside, that you have this so accessible.
While we're nursing Jackson's hip injury, we've noticed that Doug has taken his spot as the leader of the pack, or the surveyor, as we call it. Jackson's usually up ahead, jumping over rocks, going back and forth, making sure the trail ahead is safe. Surprisingly enough, little Doug, who's usually my shadow, is up ahead, taking his spot.
Douglas, do you got some big responsibilities? Big responsibilities.
Stop distracting me.
I'm alone in the whoops. Doug, what happened to your wee little boots? They're so dirty.
He's turning into Jackson.
Gotta play the pot. Doug.
Douglas.
You got your brown boots on. Oh my goodness. We've been walking for almost 2.5 miles now. What a beautiful road to walk on. Honestly, I did not expect this with these huge pine trees, huge aspens. It's just been incredible to see. So we're making our way to what looks like a small lake on the map called Ooh-Ah Lake. You probably saw the sign when we were parked. It said Ooh-Ah Campground. So there's Ooh-Ah Lake and then there's Warner Lake, I believe. I'm thinking they're probably going to be pretty full because of all the water that's running right now. So I'm super excited to get up there and check it out. We're almost there.
So we're at about 8,600 feet. Moab, where we're staying, is I think somewhere around 4,000. And so far, over just under 2.5 miles, we've climbed a little over 900 feet.
Wow, it doesn't seem like we've climbed that much actually.
No, I think it's the beauty of walking on these roads without any cars is it's all so efficient compared to walking on rocky trails.
Yeah, like a skinny or a single track.
Yep.
Okay. Doug up there leading the pack still. How beautiful is this?
So beautiful. See how the water's going down the drain?
Yeah.
Because it's so high.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So that drain just drains into Mill Creek, I guess, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
We're giving Jackson a few minutes of off-leash time to enjoy the water. You can see he went right in, cooling off after the walk. I feel like we're probably so lucky to have this whole lake to ourselves. Hello, Douglas. Because I bet once that road opens and the campground is open, it probably gets really busy up here with people trying to escape the heat in Moab. So I feel like we're really lucky to be experiencing this all to ourselves. And we were saying the lake is probably the highest it ever will be for the rest of the year because there's not a ton of snowmelt left. There's some, but I bet most of it has already happened and the lake is so full. The total mileage it took us to get here is 3.23 miles and 1,137 feet of climbing. It honestly didn't feel that long, and it didn't feel like we climbed that high either. I think just because the surroundings were so beautiful, and like Paul said, it's much easier to walk on a wide dirt road than a single track trail.
Oh my God! Oh. You're a good boy. Ooh-ah.
It's been a long time since we've been in pine trees like this, so we've really enjoyed it and just took our time relaxing there. We're heading back down the trail now. There's another lake, actually there's two lakes nearby. The one that I mentioned, Warner Lake, and also Clark Lake, that are both within the vicinity. And we thought about maybe going to check it out, but just because we want to be easy on Jackson, it's already been kind of a big day. So we're just gonna go right back to the car. He seems to be doing 100% fine, and the vet recommended that long leash walks were totally fine for him. We wanna keep him moving and super active, so as long as he's not showing signs of pain, it's totally fine to do, but we don't wanna push it too much. We're just gonna make our way back down the trail now and
keep smelling these pines.
and keep smelling these pines.
I think it's really interesting how just a little bit of elevation, like maybe 100 feet, and these aspens haven't even bloomed yet. But then as we go down, they get bright green and they have pretty decent sized leaves on them.
Yeah, I know, we're like right on the cusp of everything starting to bloom, and I feel lucky that we got to see so much color today.
Totally. I bet that they bloom next week.
Yeah, I know, I bet you're right.
What are you doing there? This is the most experienced hiker you've ever seen in the wild. Dog bowl in hand.
Well, today we weren't very smart and we only packed a big hydro flask, a big heavy hydro flask as our water bottle. So we left it in the car and we figured there was going to be a ton of water on this trail. So we always have our life straw, which filters any water. But instead of laying down and just drinking the water, I was like, hey, I could fill up the dog bowl with water and then just put the straw in the dog bowl.
Let's hope that the life straw filters out dog slobber, huh?
I know. It might have been cleaner just to drink that water straight.
It probably was.
Hey, I think it's a very good system. I'm being very resourceful.
Maybe we should make this into a product that we sell.
Yeah.
A dog bowl plus filter straw so you can walk and drink at the same time. Forget a water bottle. This is more efficient.
I know, this is definitely better. Just hope you don't trip and fall and spill your entire supply, but it's perfect. It's a great combo. Revolutionary.
I have one thing to say. Ooh-wah.
Ooh-wah. So we're back at the car, and that was just an incredible day. The hike was so beautiful, the views were amazing, and I just really, really enjoyed myself. We're gonna head back to Moab. We have to pick up some groceries, and then we're gonna head home. It's about 5 o'clock already, so we spent most of the day out here exploring, just taking our time. 10 out of 10 day. Definitely couldn't have been better. So we're back home at our Airbnb. It's been an hour or so, and thankfully Jackson seems to be doing totally fine. Doesn't seem to be showing any signs of pain, which we're so happy about. He did great today, even though he had to stay on his leash, which is definitely a bummer for him. But you did so good, and you seem to be feeling just fine, huh? Yeah, you had your dinner, and Paul's out picking up some takeout for us, so just wait for him to get back. High five. Good boy. So Paul picked up our very favorite takeout in Moab from a place called Sultan. It's Mediterranean food. It is so good. I get this Mediterranean bowl, and Paul gets these chicken shish kebabs with Havarti cheese on top and some extra hummus on the side and some extra pita bread. So we're gonna go enjoy our dinner and wrap up this video here. Thank you so much for watching and joining our adventures this weekend into the mountains outside of Moab. If you're not already, we'd love if you subscribe to our channel and gave this video a thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next adventure.